Hi, sorry for the delay in videos. Life's just been flat out at the moment and I've been meaning to do a lot of tutorials. I just haven't had the time, so apologies for that. I put a question on my Facebook page what people would like to see. I'm always open to suggestions of what you would like, and one person commented, well, quite a few said they'd love to see a teapot. Anyway, I saw this really cool idea. I don't know who to credit it for. It was on a cake supply page, and it just looked really cute. It was like cupcake toppers, like a tablecloth, like a pretty tablecloth on the cupcake. And I saw that and I thought, that's really cool. Let's do that. And so I can't credit the source. It's not my design. I just thought it was really cool. So anyway, I hope you enjoy. I hope everything's going well. And yep, enjoy the tutorial. Okay, so I've got these cupcakes. These are like leftover cupcakes. Ideally, you would just bake them. See, they've got a bit of icing. My kids were doing a photo shoot and decorated them. So what you just want to do, and I would just put them in white wrapper as well, but this is just what I've got, so that's what I'm using. Now you just want to cut the dome off so that it's flat. There we go, that's pretty good. It's pretty flat. So, and then the next thing we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to add Tylo powder. I get asked a lot about, oh nice, all over me, about the quantity of Tylo powder that people should use. Ideally, the official one is half a teaspoon to 250 grams of fondant, but I actually just grab what I have and I just sprinkle a bit across. I don't really measure it perfectly now, so I just go like that. It's usually fine. Never had a problem. So mix that in. I'm just going to roll it out. Okay, so I've just rolled out my fondant. It's pretty thin. It's not ridiculously thin. And then I've got where have I put it? I'm just going to add a bit of texture to it, so it really is like a tablecloth. So I'm just going to, I've just got this, it's an impression mat. I should bought it from an online clay shop, which is good. It's a lot cheaper than buying them from cake shops. That just adds a bit of texture. And then I'm going to use the larger circle cutter. It's actually not large enough, so it's a bit of a shame, but that's all I've got. So just have to kind of, I'm actually just sort of going to pull it out a little bit. Then I'm going to add some water to my cupcake. Now, if I was doing this properly, I would be probably putting ganache syrup or something, maybe a bit of icing, but I'm just making this for the purposes of the tutorial. Okay, so then you just kind of want to center it and pull it down over the sides. You just sort of want it to be like a tablecloth. It's going to sort of billow out a little bit. I'm just going to put a bit of water around the side of my cupcake liner so that I can stick the fondant onto there. You need to sort of create these, you know, that little movement in it, because that's how a tablecloth would be if you were going to, you know, have it over. So that's fine. Okay, so that is our little tablecloth. That's the first part. Next part, I'm just going to colour some of my fondant pink. Okay, so next step, I've rolled out my pink icing, measured up my cutter so that it's kind of just going to give us, it's obviously got to be smaller than the circle on top of your tablecloth. And just split that in half. And now what I'm going to do, just to add a bit of a pattern to it, is I'm just going to grab
see.
Give me my pink.
I'm just going to use this. You could just use anything with a bit of a point. And I'm just going to go around the outside, just dot basically another little circle around. Okay, so you can see here what I've just done. Pretty simple, but it just looks nice. And then I'm going to add some water. Aim is to try and get that in the middle. There we go. So that's what we've got so far. Okay, next thing is we're going to make our teapot. Okay, so I've rolled out a circle of white fondant to be my teapot. Now, you need to measure this sort of on your table because you don't want this supersized teapot taking up the whole space. So I'm pretty happy with that. So then what I've got is I've got this straw, or you can just use a circle cutter. The circle cutter might actually be a bit better. And this is just, you're just going to press down and give it a bit of an imprint. Like that. And that's going to be like the lid of the teapot. And then what you need to do is just roll out a tiny ball. And put a tiny dab of water on top. Okay, so can you see there what I've just done? Okay, and then I've cut out a circle here of fondant. All of this is mixed with Tylo. And I'm just going to stand my teapot on that. Okay. Right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to get our white fondant and roll out the spout and the handle. Okay, so we're going to do the spout and the handle. I've added Tylo into this fondant and I'm going to roll out a sausage. Now you need a really thin one for the handle. So see there, so keep rolling that out. Okay, so that is my handle. You can see sort of here how long that is. And then the spout,
Oh my God, the legs.
that looks pretty good. So that is a lot thicker, you can see here. Okay, so got them both there. So to attach the handle, that may even be too long. Just chop a bit off that. Okay, so with the handle, you want to start from the bottom and add a bit of icing there. Whoops. It's fiddly when it's so little. Okay, so I've just squashed it down to the bottom. Let's see, I'll add a little bit of water up top. Okay. Just need to play around a little bit with it until you're happy with the shape that you've got. Oh, whoops. Oh dear. Not happening, is it? Okay, so I actually think it's a little bit too long. So I'll take it off the top. A bit more off.
No, I need pink.
Just hang on, Ava. Okay. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That's fine. Now for the spout. What we need to do, so you can see there, this is the shape that it's like, kind of like a little banana. And I'm just going to cut a bit off like that. So the end is like that. And then I'm going to put some water here. Stick it on like that. So it's much easier to stick on by chopping off that bit of the end. Okay, so there's my little teapot. Happy with that. I'm going to stick it onto my table at the back. Sorry, it's really hard to tell with this light, sorry. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so teapot is done. It's good. I will add a bit of colour to that a bit later. Okay, so I'm going to make like a little, I've just got to stop saying like. I'm going to make a gift tag for the flowers. So it's just going to be a rectangle. I'm just going to do it now because I want it to harden so I can write on it. So.
I am hungry.
Well, hang on a second. Okay, and then what I'm going to do through one end is I'm going to just make a little hole.
I forgot the arms. Mine's got arms. Where's the other arms?
Okay, so see there? Very simple. And then I'm just going to set that aside to dry.